Hello again everybody, and welcome to this tutorial video on how to draw an eye in pastel. It's going to be completely in real time, so you're probably going to be sitting there for about 4 hours, but I think it's the best way to do a tutorial. So I'm rubbish at voiceovers for a start, and I don't think you really see what's going on from a voiceover video. This eye is just like a warm-up eye I did. And I'm going to try and do the same thing on this sheet with a different eye, but then I'm going to put some of this, violet, purpley eyeshadow into it as well. And the pencil I'm using right now is basically just an indigo, like a dark blue, but it doesn't really matter. I always say with pastel it's better to start dark over light, and that's basically because your lighter colours will cut across the darker colours like they're not even there. And also sometimes if you go down light and you're darker at the top, it will lighten the darker colour, so it is better to go dark to start off with. And it's also really good for hair because you can go really dark and then go light over the top, and it makes your hair look more realistic. So anyway, I'm going to start this eye, and I'm just looking for the basic shapes. And it doesn't really matter with this dark blue colour because it's not going to really affect the pastel at all. Don't wear a watch while you're drawing if you're left-handed, because you knock all your pencils off the table. Yeah, you don't want to knock your pastel pencils off the table because they break and you have to buy new ones, and they're really expensive. I broke too many pastel pencils that way. Here's where the lashes will be. Obviously I'm not going to draw the lashes in yet because they're going to be in black, so you're best just doing everything and putting the skin in around the eye and then going over the top with the black lashes. So you might as well, you don't even need to draw them in, just leave them. That's just a representation of where the top of the lid is, so the eyelash to be flicking out of that bit there. And this kind of wraps around here. Good thing with pastel is as well, if you make a mistake on your line art, you might as well just keep redrawing over it because you can't really rub it out, but you can keep reapplying pastel over and over if you're using the right paper. And the paper I'm using is pastelmat because it's the best paste. Yeah. Losing my words now, the best paper for pastel, in my opinion. Feels like a really fine sandpaper, probably finer than a fine sandpaper, but you need a lot of tooth for pastel because you really want to layer. All this is like hours of layering to get this effect. And up here we've got the crease of the eye socket. And this is the edge of the eyeball. And then we've got the iris. Because the eye is on an angle, actual circumference of the actual circumference of the iris will be distorted, so it's more of a oval shape. People in. I'm going to try and be the neatest in the world because I don't want to spend forever on the line art. Because you are going to be sitting there for quite a while. And then you've got the bottom of the lid. Well, that's the bottom of the lid. Well, if you've got, like, say this is the bag, that's where the bag, top of the bag, and then there's like a, it's like a lip before it meets the eyeball. That's what that is. It kind of goes down there. So you don't have to be perfect with your line up because all this will just get, you know, covered up as you start your colouring. I'm not happy with the people, so just keep going. Now if you colour this in, because it's going to be in black anyway. Tear ducts. And the eyebrow. And draw over the hairs, just kind of draw the shape of it out. And I doubt I'll have time to put this eyebrow in properly, but it's there. Now I've got the bag. Okay. Well, sometimes what I like to do is actually shade the whole thing out with the pencil I'm originally using, which is blue, so like, because it helps to show you where your shadows would be in a one colour. Like I said, you won't affect the pastel if you put it down light. So if you just like shade it like you would as if you were using like a pencil, you kind of showing to yourself where it gets darker and lighter. That's if you want to do that way, but if you want to just jump straight into the colour, you can't do both. Depends what type of artist you are, what you like to do. I like to do this sometimes. Sometimes it tells you. Sometimes you can do some line art, and if it was a full portrait, you think to yourself, oh, it doesn't really look like the person I'm trying to draw. Sometimes when you do this, it turns out it does look like the person you draw, because sometimes line art can be a bit deceiving. And obviously it is pastel, so I will be using my finger a lot to rub it all in. because it helps you when you do this to define, you know, the shape of the eye and where all your shadows will be. Obviously that's a lot darker, but I don't want to do too much because I don't want to take up the tooth, because that's going to be pure black. I just want to do it light. I can shade that in a bit. I'm going to carry on using this dark blue in this eye now because it is blue and it is going to be a blue eye. So I've got this blue, which is a kingfish blue. I've got a cobalt blue. So the blue I've got a cyan as well. So all these blues will go into this eye. Oh, and also this one, which is a pale spectrum blue. I don't know what they come up with these names. And also got a Conti blue, which I probably won't use, but I say it's better to go dark before you go light. So I probably will actually use black in this before I actually start using the lighter colours. And you can shade the whole thing out in this dark blue. So when you start adding your lighter colours, they're in the background already there for you. Doesn't look that much now, but trust me, every time. You notice I've switched actual brands of pencil. This is a Caran where they're Durants. And I've probably got every brand you can think of pastel pencil. I've just accumulated them over time. And you do need a lot of pastel to actually, I think, use it properly, because even though you can find similarities in different brands of colour, they are different. So if one brand's got a burnt carmine, another brand will have a carmine, and even though it's the same colour, it isn't, it applies differently. And the Caran ones are soft pastels, and the rest are relatively hard. So you've got to bear in mind that these will actually cake up the page a lot quicker than what they will. But I'm only using the black, and it doesn't matter if I cake this up with black because it's only going to be black. So the trick is just to stay light and keep layering and layering and layering. And you won't like eliminate all the tooth, you can keep adding and adding. By the time you can't add any more to that tooth, it won't make a difference because the eye is how you want it to be. Oh, here I've got like white reflection, so sometimes I'll add that in and just shade around it to keep it as white as I can. So it's kind of like that, and it spreads out across the eye. Mostly we'll shade this out, so it won't be so intense, but I don't want to like put the white over the top of a colour and then that white basically lightens that colour, because the sparkle in the eye is pure white. And see what happens when you smudge it, you get a nice smooth effect. When it was all gritty, it's now gone. If you don't like smudging pastel with your fingers, then you can buy colour shapers, which look like this, but you have to be careful with them because they kind of lift off the page. So the other uses, I use them to create patterns and skin tones sometimes, but it's very hard to find anything that's better than your finger at smudging pastel. But if you do find something, let me know. I'm just going around the edge of the eye because there's always like a black ring around the edge of the iris. And like I said, just keeping it light, smudging it, layering it, smudging it, layering it. And pastel takes a long time, I think, to do artwork with. You have to have a lot of patience, but then again, it's probably just as bad as constant burnishing with colouring pencil. So I would say you use pastel and reverse the coloured pencil, but I don't really use coloured pencil, so I don't know. I'm only saying that off what I've seen on YouTube videos. And it's alright going down here into the white of the eye because it won't affect it. It will cut straight over it. Lighter colours will cut straight over it. And it won't even be that bad if you took that colour on a little bit, because obviously the lid is casting the shadow over it. The pastel works a lot like paint on a canvas. You know, different colours will merge together to enhance other colours. Unless you push really hard like I did with the lighter colours here, it will blend with the ones underneath. You'll see that, and then when I add some blue in, I'll smudge it into the black to get the darker tone, like a darky blue underneath, and then I'll start adding the more intense colours on top. Just define this pupil a bit more. Like I said, you'll see this pupil more when I start adding the blue, because there's such a difference in colour that it'll stand out more. Okay, so I'm going to switch to this cobalt blue. That's the one I want to use. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to use this cobalt blue first. I'm going to put it down light, and then I'm going to smudge it into the black. You don't need to go all over it, just see how you can see the blue, but it's not really too intense. I don't want that yet. I'm putting in the foundation, like the darker foundation underneath, before I start giving you that effect of having them bright lines in the eye. Doesn't matter if you cut into that black rim because you can always put it back in. It's all about layering. The more layers you do, the smoother the whole thing will be. Just keep bringing this pupil down a bit. Just didn't like where the position of the pupil was. That's a bit better. There's my... And I've got the indigo again. This is the darker blue. That's the same as what I used there. And just adding this to the edges. And you can start getting a little bit more intense. It doesn't matter if you go too intense because you can always knock it back with the black again. And try to be random, don't like go all the way around the pupil. The iris isn't like that. Everything's random. And don't forget you're getting darker as you go further up to the lid, because the actual eyelid is casting a shadow, so you're going to have the more of an intense light down here. So the brighter blues will be in here and the darkers will be up there. See, I want you could do, but I probably won't even put any of this in there. I keep that black. You know, you push it into the pupil as well. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look right like it doesn't right now, because you can push the black back out of it. You know, anything you do on this isn't set in stone. You can even smudge that out a bit, but it's still there like a little bit of under detail, and then go back over it again. You just keep building up your layers. And you can switch pencils. Adding some of this blue into it. Like I said, it's a lighter colour, so keep it to your lighter areas. You It's amazing what a tiny bit of detail can do, can make you see. I'm going to switch up now to a different black by Stabilo, but you can use Derwent or Faber-Castell. I'm just using it because it's a harder pastel, so it's not going to go like too black straight away. I can go a lot lighter with it, so I can just push that pupil out into that blue. The pastel doesn't break while you're doing it. And obviously I'm going to define this pupil a bit more in a minute, so it's more rounded, because it's more like, well, the bottom of it's there. Like I say, it doesn't matter how many mistakes you make, you can just keep adding and adding. Sharpen the pencil. Another problem with pastel pencils is that they don't sharpen very well. Yeah, pastel pencils don't sharpen very well either, but got the point on that. If you want a good pastel sharpener, it's a swordfish icon, and it works because the barrel of this pencil doesn't actually fit in the hole. So what happens is, if you get something that's got a bigger hole in the barrel on a pastel pencil, it tends to do that when you sharpen it, and it splits the lead. If you get something tight enough, something that's like a mil smaller than the actual barrel, it won't move and it sharpens it good. So the icon will sharpen these in the caran dash, but it isn't very good with the Stabilos, because if you see, they're a thin pencil, but they sharpen very well on an electric sharpener. So, but yeah, that's a swordfish icon. You can buy spare blades, it's one of them circular blades. What you're doing is just adding detail now, it's just like pushing into that pupil. And if you think you've gone too far, like I have, just take the black and push some of it back out. This pastel paper will take a lot of no abuse from you as you're going along, it will keep taking. Just dropped into the pencil. Don't drop your pencils, just shatter the lead inside. And probably pastelmat probably doesn't work anymore now. And I've switched up now to the cyan. That's because I sharpened this one earlier. It's a lighter colour, so I'm going to keep it down here again. I'm colouring a bit more of this one because, like I said, I'm trying to be random. I don't want it to look too generic. But it's the same thing as the pupil if you put too much down, or want a bit more dark on there, you know, switch back to your darker blue and pull it out. So just push in like that, add some darker lines in, pulling it from the side where you've got that dark edge to the iris. What's going on today? I'm dropping all my pencils. Just be smart. I've got this little rack here and I've got them all over the place down here. Still trying to find that pupil a bit. Just keeping it light as I try and pull that pupil out so it stands out. You can see how I've gone a lot lighter in there and actually really pushing the pencil on. Get rid of that edge a little bit. And then I think there's one more blue like this. Pale spectrum blue. I just use this sparingly, like just where the light kind of picks up in the iris. Now I'm going to put this black band back in. It's only thin, but I'll just kind of push it into that blue. Softly push it into that blue. Another thing, don't do what I'm doing and putting my hand on the actual paper, because if this was a full portrait and I was drawing down here after so long, all the oils in my hand will go on the paper and I won't actually be able to put the pastel over the top of it. It won't go over the top of oil. So you could do what I did with Arnold Schwarzenegger drawing and actually put a piece of acetate down, so I'm on the acetate instead of the actual paper, or use tracing paper or anything you want. But trust me, you don't want to draw like something amazing up here, then when you come to finish like the nose and all of a sudden it's not going down, you don't know why, and the whole thing's ruined. It happened to me once and then it never happened again because I learnt my lesson. No, it shouldn't happen to you because I've told you don't do it. You can see adding that little, just that black ring sets all the blue off. I'm going to push some black into this. Knock some of this blue back. You don't have to do loads of it and just add a bit of character to the iris. So you could say that the iris is done there. I'll probably add more in later, but you might as well start the white of the eye, and this should help kind of make this more realistic. So I can find the colour I used. Yeah, I think I want to use that. Now, the whites of the eyes, they aren't actually white. They're like an off grey colour with a bit of pink, and then you'll get like a reflection. They look white because the surrounding colour is so much different, and it's a lot more of a darker shade that it actually looks very white, and it isn't when you're drawing it. If it was to do this in pure white, it would look like that. It just wouldn't look right at all. And the only place where it's really pure white is in there, and you've got the greys, and then you've got more pinky tones down here as it connects with the lids, with the bottom lid and the top lid. So I'll just put this grey in and smudge it out. Doesn't matter if you go into that white highlight a little bit. Use a clean finger, smudge it out, because the other finger's got black on it. And merge it with that white a little bit, and always put it back in later. And it's all about layering and layering and layering. Now obviously when I add the white on top of this, you know, the white of the eye, it won't look so white, it'll merge with the grey underneath. And you'll put the white where the highlights are, or the mid-tones. And then when it comes to adding the shadows, you'd use black and go over really lightly. Or you could use that dark blue indigo again, because then you can have it tie into this iris. But it all depends on your own artistic flair. If you wanted to go totally realistic, I'd stick with black, but depends on how you like to do your artwork. I think I'm going to add some of the pink in, and I'll probably use some of that as well. There's violet oxide, and this caran doesn't have names. It's like a pink colour, violet pink. And it's more. I usually just add the pink in like the corners. Remember, it's all about layering. If you don't like the pink, then it doesn't matter, because you can always go over the top again. So you've got the bit of pink in there. It doesn't matter if it's too intense, because obviously there's going to be a dark red in this tear duct, and that'll knock it out a bit. But there's still pink in there. Even though there's a dark red, there is little spots of pink. Where's that indigo gone? Yeah, indigo. This is probably showing up as black on the camera, but it isn't. I know the white of the eye just looks grey at the minute, but it won't when I'm done. I'm going to start lightly adding some white over the top, it'll make more sense. But I can't just do that because it won't look right. I have to add, I suppose, the undercoat to everything. Remember, the lead is casting a shadow on the eye. Right, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to actually use the colour shaper that I showed you earlier. So I'm going to push this white out at the edges to kind of just soften it. Probably lift it off a bit so you see more of the blue underneath, but just be careful because it will lift the whole thing off. So that's all I want to do really. It's kind of got a bit of a blue tint to it as well. So I'm just lightly using the blue here over the top of the white. Must be a reflection of whatever it's looking at, or she's looking at. Either way, it needs toning down. Perfect every time. Just gonna knock it back with this indigo colour a bit. I don't think it needs to be so in your face. Yeah, it looks better. It was too set apart for me from the actual eye. Drew your attention too much, it's not meant to be that way. Some eyes are like that though. Depends how intense the light is that's on them. But that's what I find, there isn't much of an intense highlight. Obviously I'm literally only drawing what I can see in front of me. dark on top of. See this on the reference photo, there is an intense dark or an intense shadow up here, and this is where, and there isn't on this one for the reference photo, but this is where your own artistic flair comes into it. Even though my work looks realistic, I don't generally follow like the colours that are on the actual photo, because I want it to look like a piece of artwork. I want it to be realistic, but I want it to look like a piece of artwork as well. So I never follow the colours. I don't even follow the same skin tones. I always make my own up. I think I also said that at the end of the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, where the reference photo looked totally different from the colours I used. And that's because sometimes, if you really want to draw something, you feel like you could make it look a lot better in the actual photo. And the Total Recall reference photo was just, you know, from the early 90s, and it wasn't that good, but it's the best one I could find. But you know, it was a perfect challenge for you to try and just come up with your own colours. And this is just lightly scraping the surface. It'll still go down because you've got this fine texture. And leaves you with this like really light tone. So you can see how already I haven't used any white, and yet you can still tell it's the white of the eye, and that's just because I've matched the values that I'm looking at on the reference photo. And I could do this whole thing in bright green, as long as I match the values with different greens to what I'm looking at, it'll look like an eye. Your mind knows that's the white of the eye, your mind knows that's the iris. And I'm going to use white now to go over the top. Not everywhere, just the tip, add some more highlight to it. I'm just lightly scraping it again. I'm not actually pushing or anything. I'm holding the top of the pencil. I'm just scraping across the top of it. Mostly if you're using coloured pencil, I don't think this part would work. Because it's not soft, it's more waxy, isn't it? So I don't know what you do, because I don't use it before. I'm guessing, I think you have to put white down first, don't you? I don't know. I'd say you'd have to put white down first so it would already be there. Go around the edges of that highlight to kind of blend it into the eyeball a bit more. Now you just have to smudge it out a bit. See, then all of a sudden you've got the white of the eye, because all you've done is added where the light's reflecting off it. It's not an intense white. The intense white is here, which isn't really that intense. I'm still going light here, I'm not going heavy at all. The reason why it looks like it's more intense than down here is because you've got this black, or the indigo, because your darks make your lights. So if you put a lighter colour next to a darker colour, it'll look a lot more intense than what it actually is. And if you smudge it out again, you're left with the shadow. And what's happening is when you spray that white over the top, it's blending with the grey underneath, and it's keeping it toned down for you. But if you wanted to put pure white in, all you have to do is just push harder and it will go down on top of it, because you've still got a lot of tooth. And the reason why you got a lot of tooth is because you've stayed light. You haven't gone heavy. You just kept it light as you've been going. And because of that, I've still got a lot of tooth, and I can still keep applying as much as I want. Just try and put that highlight back in. It's got a very weird highlight. It's like it looks good, but I don't like it at the same time. Ooh. Right. I think we can add some more intense light here. Where's my indigo? Kind of put this. I'll lightly put this black rim back in on the edge of the iris. Because you can't really see it under the actual highlight. Yeah, there's my black. Yeah. that black back in. Get the lighter blues. Oh, actually, let's try this one. Must be just a reflection of whatever he's looking at. No, I can't tell what it is. Sorry if I go quiet, I start concentrating and I forget I'm on camera. So yeah, that's basically the white of the eye. If you want to, this will work. If you want to add like, she's got a vein. You go light or. I normally won't bother, but for the purposes of the tutorial, I'll bang some veins in. Everyone's got veins in their eyes. And best making some parts of the veins fatter than others. Remember, try to be random. Okay. I need red. That'll do. Crimson. You have to be careful with red because it's a very powerful colour. Stay light, otherwise it will. That'll be the brightest thing you put on the page. It doesn't mean much, it's teared up, there isn't that much red in it. Well, it says there. I'll switch back to the indigo. You won't think this is the colour I've used the most out of the whole thing, would you? Dark blue. use my favourite pencil, my favourite pastel pencil, and that's burnt carbon. This has like saved my life so many times. When I feel like I just can't get it right, I'll grab this thing and it will fix anything. I don't know why, but it's like a perfect, like mid-tone colour. It'll blend with anything. Like if I put it in there now, it's like a, all of a sudden I've got like shadows. It's blending in with that pink and that red, it just suits it, and it suits the indigo. It'll go with any colour. Put it up here, and then I can like offset it with some black, and it will blend in with the black, and you get like a nice gradient of burnt carmine to black. It's just really is a nice colour. It's great for skin tones as well. Used it a lot on my Aquaman portraited in pastel. Try my pink. Put some pink in here. It's too intense. Just scrape it because this is a really intense colour as well. Just use a bit of white. So it kind of blends with the pink underneath. It gives you a really light pinky white colour. And add a bit of white there to show the reflection of the tear duct. I'm going to go back to that indigo and start turning it down a bit. Otherwise it's not going to look like it's a part of the side. Problem with this, because it's such a small piece of paper, I can't smudge it properly. Usually working on A3. And you've got to remember the actual lids that are actually on top of the eyeball will cast the slight shadow. And that'll go all the way around the circumference of this lid. But in real life it's probably not that intense, it's just, like I said, I use my own colours. And then you can knock it back a bit. And that was me sharpening the stabilo, which was in my electric sharpener. They do really well on electric sharpeners actually. Just add some black into here. I've got intense there because that's where the main shadow is, and it kind of bends around there like that. But then if you go in with the black, you can actually just cast a little shadow. You can go really light. It isn't going to ruin anything. The black will blend with the colour underneath to create a darker version of that colour. You just need the technique of going as light as you can. That's why I always hold the base of the pencil, or the top, I don't know, top of the pencil, and just scrape. And you get this, you know, that little darker version of the colour underneath. And it looks like it matches that then. And I'll be honest with you, the colours on the reference photo aren't really anywhere near what these are here, and it's because I didn't want to use the colours, but it works and it looks real because I've matched the values that I'm looking at. Even though I've used a different colour here, for example, it's still at the same shade as what it would be on the reference photo, so it works. Like I said, I could do the whole thing in green and it would work. You might well know it was an eye. It's just because I've matched the values. And probably added a bit more in some places where you don't really need to. Like up here, there's no way it's that dark on the reference photo, but it works. It just works because that's my style of drawing. I like to use a lot of black in my drawings. Starting this line in. And because there's no way I can smudge that on my finger, let's get a colour shaper and kind of soften up a bit. So you do have the uses as colour shapers. I don't really use them that much though. Most of the time I'd rather use a short pencil to kind of blend them out, because they have the tendency to like lift everything off the page. So what I usually do if I didn't use a colour shaper, I'd just get the grey that I used in here, for example, wherever I'll put it. Where's that gone? Okay, that's the grey, but it's blunt, so I'll sharpen it and then I'll show you. Perfect every time. And then I'll just basically kind of scrape over the top where the black line is and push it off a bit. It just knocks it out. Now if I smudge over the top, and they kind of merge together. Now if you wanted to, you could take a darker grey, or like I'm going to do, and take the indigo in a second. And go back and kind of shade a bit of shadow, and it's not you're constantly layering over the top of yourself all the time. Smudge it. And then obviously once you pull this part in, that'll actually look how it's meant to be. There's even a little bit of red in this corner. Just keep it light. Yeah, don't go that heavy. You can knock it back out with the indigo and they'll kind of blend together to make a purpley colour. I said he works a lot like paint. I mean, he won't mix like paint does. Like you're not gonna go where am I? Red, blue, and then you've got an intense purple, which you haven't. No, it's what I'm saying is it did go slightly purple. So it's, whereas if you did it with paint, you probably would mix into an intense purple, and that's why you have purple pastels, for example. But it will change the colours slightly, and you have to think about that when you actually put the planning together. So like when I said I use black and I go lightly, I mean all that there is indigo, grey, and then black over the top, and it's kind of just, you've got this like little gradient going on. Could be better, but no, it's a quick tutorial. I say quick, but I've been going for like an hour and a half now, I think. On this bit here, this is like a dark red, so I put the red in, and then I'd apply the indigo, then the black, smudging together, and then you'll come up with a really dark, like the red will be there. It's like it's seen but not seen. Like it needs to be there to work, but you don't really see it. I had this a lot with Arnie, where I put like the blue reflection on his face. You don't really notice it because it's that subtle that I've put these blue reflections in. But until I actually tell you, I've put these reflections, you don't see them. But they need to be there for it to work. For it to look realistic. And that's why it took me like 3 months to actually draw. Yeah, just smudging the black into this now. See, it's still red, but it's fading away. But it's still not going to be the same colour as this, which is what I want. See, it works. Up there works, it needs a bit more work down here, but it does work up here. And that gives more of a skin tone colour, so you could actually just, what you do is you blend that out into a skin tone colour. Which I'll show you in a minute. Where's my other colour gone? Okay, skin tones. Got a few, but obviously it depends on the person's actual complexion. But I generally will use these. That pink sometimes, but mainly as an undercoat. And then there's a combination of different browns and stuff like that to create the shadows for the depth. Also, I don't drop on my pencil again. Yeah, and also a lot of burnt carmine. Because in this part here, this kind of goes from that pinky red into a bit of a skin tone. So I think I'll put this one down for now and see how it looks. It doesn't matter if it's it's not the right colour or comes up too light. Which it is, as you can just, it's basically just an undercoat at the minute. And then you basically just keep working on it until you get it how you want it. So what you got to think is as well, if the eyelashes are coming out of this part here, this is actually going to be casting shadow as well, so even though I don't want it completely black, I probably will push this black into it a bit. So I laid it down quite light to begin with, but I was just testing to see if that's how I wanted it, which I didn't. And from doing it I realised I went too darker, but what, it doesn't matter, you haven't made a mistake because it kind of acts like an undercoat for it. Like I said, if you just scrape over the top, it'll either take on what's underneath, or if you push really hard you can just wipe it out altogether. You just got to bear in mind, if you push on too hard then you end up taking up more tooth. Like I said, right now it doesn't really look right, but it will when I start pushing the black into it and stuff like that. You can push this brown into there. But you can see how it's brown, but it's not, it's like it's taking on the colour underneath a bit, so it's become like a browny red. That kind of gives you a nice gradient into this brown. So I'm trying to keep the shape of the eyeball that wraps around. But obviously that's because I've smudged it with my finger, I've smudged the black off a bit, but all you have to do is when you've finished adding this colour you can go back in with the black and shape that eyeball again. There are some lighter spots. Found the right pencil. Try this one. A lot of lighter spots just here. But this is very powerful colour, so I don't put it down too much, otherwise this won't look right. Yeah, I'm just going to scrape. Doesn't matter if it is too light, like I said, you can always just knock it out with that brown again. I mean, it's probably better like using swatches on yourself and just, you know, get a piece of scrap paper and test out the colours, but I just can't be arsed to do stuff like that. I'd rather just get stuck in and mixed on the page, see how it looks. When you do like this, it helps to actually thicken up the layers of pastel as well, so you get more of a smoother look. I think that'll stand out more when you start putting the lashes in as well, because there's a massive colour difference because of jet black. Because obviously this colour's got to be put onto the lid here, but it's not on the reference photo, but I'm going to put this colour onto this and then add the lashes over the top. Like I say, it's got slight highlights where it's moist, so there's a word everybody hates, moist, but it's just reflecting the light. And you just blend it out by lightly scraping. So it doesn't matter, you just knock out with the black again if you don't like it. I've got a really dark brown here. Well, it's supposed to be a really dark brown. I've got a darker one somewhere, but it's hiding. Knocking that highlight back again. You don't want it too much, I don't want you to have your attention on that over that. Because obviously when I started in this purpley colour in, it should set that eye off a lot more. Picked up a black there, I'm just going to try to shape this eye back out again. So see, that's the white of the eye there. It wraps around. I'm doing it now just to see if here's the colour I want. I mean, the colour doesn't look like much, but you need to think of the colour I'm going to be adding here and here, and then you probably will be right. It's like you have to, when you look at your reference photo, match the colour that you've seen. But if you're making up your own colours, it doesn't really matter, as long as the values are right. I don't like harsh edges because it doesn't look real if you've got harsh edges. Everything should be soft, so you can push into it a bit. And I'm doing a scraping again, lightly. You'd be surprised how much I actually use black in my work. Covers a lot of the actual artwork with me, with a lot of scissors scraping over the top to darken down colours. I've never been one for actually, you know, trying my best to match my colours. It's just don't see the point, because you can, if you match the values, it'll still look realistic, it'll still look good, and it'll actually look like something different. I think I'll put in that pink part at the bottom. Don't know if that's too bright. I'll be alright. And I said some of this is actually pink and then some of it is actually skin tone again. Okay, clean finger, smush out a bit. Another thing with the actual paper, so like I said, I'm putting this down as a skin tone, but if you look, it's so similar to it that you can't really see it. That's why I always have the white or the pale blue. This is just like paper I've never used for a portrait, so I'm just using it for the tutorial, but I'm hoping when I put skin tones down you're going to see them, but I don't think you honestly will. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger was drawn on like a pale blue, it's pretty much white. You can see now we've got a bit of another wet spot, so it's reflecting light, but you don't want it too harsh, so you can just rub it out a bit. Or you can put it down and add the skin to it on top of it, which will lighten it a bit. And I'm doing a scraping again. Right, under these lids, well under the lid, sorry, the bottom one, there's a shadow here, so I'll whack that in. I'm going to use this. And this is more like another Carmen colour, like a burgundy red. Just remember it works a lot like paint, you're mixing them and then when you smush them together, they help each other out. And like obviously my eyelashes are coming from here, so there'll be a lot of black. You can see because the brown's under that, it's darker than that. It also looks thicker on the page because the brown's acting as like an undercoat. But you can still keep layering with this if you just keep going over the top. That's just gone through a lot of you. Yeah, it just doesn't bother me. It's not like, I think if it was full sandpaper it would really bother me, but it's smooth. But you can see how soft that looks. And you got shadow, and obviously if I want to go dark I'd just add black. Scrape black at the top, smudge it again, it'll look darker. That's some of this in here. Take a drop of my pencils. I just keep forgetting this is here and I keep putting my pencils on the side. And then I knock them with my arm and they fall off. And then once I've done that, they're ruined. Actually a very fine shadow on the lid. But obviously you'd be random, it is going to be a thicker shadow in some places than others. You can see that sets that apart from that. Also, I'm holding the top of the pencil, I'm just scraping. Adds a shadow. And if you want to soften it up, you just go with your finger and push bits out. You know, you don't have to use black for this, you could have gone for that indigo again, but like I said, I'm just using my own colours. Well, this line here, look, it needs to be pushed into the bottom lid a bit. I've just changed where the eyeball sits because I think it'll look better. I don't know why my voice has got really deep all of a sudden. Turn into Vin Diesel. I'll buy that. But you can see what black does. Black just gives you so much contrast and depth to everything. The whole part about it is making it look like it belongs there. You just take practice and patience, I guess. Like I'm still not happy about this part yet. I'm just getting light with this. It's a light pink. It's almost white, but it is a pink. Because there's a slight reflection here, so you can put it in and kind of get larger and larger as it comes away from where it's intensified. Bringing that bottom lid back out. You can see what I was saying where it doesn't matter how much black you use, as long as you go light, you can go back over it, back over the black, back over the skin tone. And if I wanted to intensify skin tone, I can just push down harder. It will only work if you stay light. It doesn't look like much of a skin tone, but it's not really bright, it's more dull. When you add all the eyelashes in and everything else, it'll just work. Now I think I'll put the purple in now, I think. Find the colours. There's that one, purple's there. Indigo, right. Like I said, this isn't actually on the reference photo, but I'll show you it'll still work because you're just matching the values that's on the eye already, you've just picked a different colour. So like here, it's a lot lighter than it is up here. So I'll probably take a white into that and push it out, and you'll get like a really light purple. If you scrape over lightly, and up here you put black in, and you get a darker version of this, or the dark purple, which I'll be using as well. Wrap around this bit because I doubt she'd paint that part with eyeshadow in purple. Basically you just have to keep layering it until it coats the whole thing. then if you want to, you can actually, because it obviously blends off into more of a skin tone. What we can do is, where is it tonight? Want some of this pink. I'm just hoping it shows up because of the colour of the paper. Just blend them together. Where's it gone? Use this one. And I've used the pink as like a base coat there. So when you smudge it together, they all blend together. But obviously this is a white person's eye that I'm drawing, so this her complexion is a light skin tone. And obviously if you were drawing someone who's black, you wouldn't even touch these colours. It'd be a combination of browns. And this is even light skin tone. It's, don't know how to describe the colour. Probably pinky beige, maybe. Like I said, the colour of the paper isn't really doing it justice. I'm trying my best. I'm hoping when I put the eyebrow in, you'll see it's a lot better. I'm going to put some more of this in now. And go with the darker purple. It's all about just keep going and going, keep building up them layers. Remember, it's the same thing as what you did with the eye. It's all base coat. You blend it all together, then you add the detail on top. Same as if you were using a graphite pencil or charcoal, anything really, any kind of art material. You can see the contrast from the skin tone into that. I wish I had some white paper because you'd see that a lot better. It's too, the colour of the paper is too much lighter for you to see it. But if you look here, it is there. I will do a skin tone tutorial at some point on a piece of white paper. It's not really helping me at the minute, this paper isn't. This sort of paper I wouldn't use for portraits. I'd do a landscape on it or something. To make a nice landscape, you could use this colour as like a sunset. You know, I don't know what I'd use this colour for, but you find something in a landscape for it. But in terms of doing a portrait, they aren't that good. You're best off going for the lighter colours. Stick to white. But this video isn't about skin tones, it's about drawing an eye. Okay, we've got darker in here. I'm just trying to shape that lid, like put some darker tones into that crease, and I will go darker in a minute. I'll get the indigo on it and then the black, and it'll come to life. You'll see the detail, and obviously I'll put some white in down here. fingers. As you can see, I've added the white in there, and it's kind of give it more of a 3D look now. But like I said, it's probably too much white, so you can just knock it back out again with this purpley lilac colour, or violet, or whatever it is. Just scrape over it lightly and knock it back a bit. Obviously it's not pure white. And I'd do the same if it was skin and not purple eyeshadow. And also add get this down first, this light pink. Obviously, because you've got the light there, that translates onto the top of just under the eyebrow. It doesn't matter if it looks a bit rusty, because you just keep adding your layers. That's why it takes so long. And obviously these pastels aren't the softest. That's the point, they can't be too soft because they'll just break as you use them. If I was doing a massive piece, I would probably use blocks as an undercoat, because it'd be so much quicker when it comes to actually doing the base coat, and then you go to the top of these to do all your details. You just keep layering and smudging, layering and smudging, layering and smudging, just keep going and going. You can understand why all this works. Now it took me 3 months to do. I'm going to quickly knock that eyebrow in. It'll be a bit rough, but should help you see the top of the lid. Better if I could find my block pastel that I had. I don't know where it's gone. It has disappeared. Where's that gone? Let's get another one. Probably on the floor somewhere. It's broken into bits. Get bits like this dropping down, just blow them away, don't smudge them. It'll ruin everything. This all black pastel smudges better. 9 times out of 10 as well, they're darker than your actual pastel pencil, so as you can see that's darker than that, and you're going to have a problem unless you re-go over that with black again. You have to think about that as well, but this is just a tutorial so it doesn't really matter. If that ever happened, I'd usually just get the black into it like that. Kind of smudge it out so you got that black into it as well, because they have to match. If you got something darker than, like if that's meant to be pure black, and then you got something here that's pure black as well, but that black's blacker than that black, there's a conflict and you'll notice it. I'll also do a hair tutorial at some point. I'm just going to do this rough eyebrow. Just pulling out some random dark lines to make it look more like hair. And I'll go over with a lighter colour to kind of brown it up a bit. Use any colour you want for it if you want to make it. Let's see. Hold on. Maybe add a bit of browny blonde into it. Just do a highlight. Smudge them out a bit, so not too intense. As you get there. It's a bit brown. As you can see, this goes down a lot smoother on top of other pastels because it's going over the top of the black like it's just like it's nothing. But if it was here, it's a lot more scratchy and it isn't blended together as well because they kind of mix together. Like I said, this eyebrow's alright for this. I'll do a proper hair tutorial at some point, and a proper skin tutorial. But you can get the gist of what I'm talking about. Put some of this indigo into the side. There's quite a big shadow there. It kind of wraps all the way around, but it gets thinner as it goes down this side because there's obviously more light. I'm going to take some black now. Let's get the black on it. This will complement the indigo that's underneath. As I said, just keep layering it and layering it. If you smudged it out, it's not as dark as it was because you smudged it, so you have to go over it again and again and again. You just get it how you want it. This paper can take a lot of abuse. As you can see there though, because I was scratching, it hasn't gone totally black, it's actually dark in the purple in its own little way. Which is what you kind of want. See, it's darkening it again there. You just kind of, with a clean finger, not a dirty finger like I've just done. Because you've got your skin tones here. And if you smudge the black into it, it'll go all muddy. Well, if you've got a dirty finger, should I say. If you've got a dirty black finger and you smudge into the skin tones, it ain't going to work. But as you can see, I've got a skin tone over that one. Because I'm just smudging it together. I'm not going straight down with a black finger. And if you want to push it back again, you just go back in with this purple, which I just hit the eye with because I'm an idiot. You just stay light, just scrape again. Some black in here, kind of make that stand out a bit more. You see how I lined it off so I don't actually colour into the skin. Helps you, well it does for me anyway, it helps me keep my pants where I want it to be when I'm colouring, so I'm doing that. I'm never actually going into the actual skin tone that I put down. Where's my white gone? I'll show you another thing that I did. I'll just push this white up here. In here you can see like little dots of white. I do that because it's kind of like the pores of the skin reflecting light, and that's quite a nice effect, and it's just basically a bunch of dots. So the way I would do skin texture as well is dots, and you can just smudge it out and you get this little skin texture effect. Obviously if you're trying to be super realistic, then you spend more time doing this, not just knocking them out like this. You have to be more random. But because you've added that as a bit of detail there, well, that's the realism of it all. Okay, up in here. But yeah, that's basically how we do skin texture, but a lot more random and it takes a lot more time. And that'll work with virtually anything as well, paint, colour pencil. So you have like a, looks more like skin, there's a texture to it instead of just a flat smudging of colour. And also eyelids have creases, so you've got, dropping everything again, obviously you've got the main crease here. Sometimes it'll have crease coming out there. Because it's folded in the skin, where the fold is, it'd be pure black because obviously there's no light entering that part. You can just game with skin texture up here as well if you want it to just, and up here just switch to darker colours. Just switch to the indigo, I've done the same thing. But it just looks better with the lighter colours. If you where's everything? I can never find anything when I wanted. Look at this. This also might help connect that colour to the skin tone as well, because it's like a midway colour between the purple and the actual skin. It's actually a very good skin tone colour. Violet oxide it's called. And block in some of the bottom lid, and then I'll bang the eyelashes in and I'll call it done. Where is everything? No. This is a very quick way to blot down skin tones. I'm just obviously trying to get it down because it's more about the eye. Oh, this will help shape the eye a bit more for you. I think I'll add a bit of light in there. bang a bit of saffron into it. I think it's saffron. Yeah, saffron. Also makes a nice skin tone colour. Like I said, it depends on the complexion, the lighting, all sorts. Adding little spots of detail before I put the lashes in. There's like slight highlights. So I'm just making up my own colours as I go along, but I'm matching the values that I'm seeing in the actual reference photo. Just going to spray out a bit more black here. Went a bit too harsh there, keep it light. Okay. some of these eyelashes on. I've got one that's all the way up to the brow. I'm only putting them in rough for now, and then I'll get a bit more intense for them after. As in, thicken them out a bit. And they're not all the same size. Some will be bunched together, some will be on their own. Some look like they're even coming from the actual iris themselves, but they're obviously not. But just following the shape of the main eyelashes. The rest are all just there for bulk. Obviously on the bottom lid, eyelashes are a lot thinner. There isn't loads of them. And they're generally smaller. But obviously she's got mascara on, so it's not the case. There's lots of little ones on the bottom lid. Right. What you want to do now is thicken them up and add little ones, little odd eyelashes, thicken up some of them. Just be random. Have them cut into that skin too in a little bit. Shouldn't be a perfect edge. Maybe even smudge them out a little bit. Yeah, notice as well when I've put this in, I've noticed that actually should be a little bit darker. I would actually make it darker. I'm just going to take the black and go over it a bit. And that should stop the eyelashes looking like they don't connect. where you can see, well, once you start thickening them up, they look a lot better. The ones on the bottom lid kind of blend into the skin a bit because of the shadow that's on the eye, so if you just do a light scrape of black and smudge it in, it'll blend them into the actual skin. Yeah, I know it sounds daft like I was that way because you're just putting black on top of a skin tone colour, but it does. Right, I think we'll call that a day. Eye tutorial finished. Sorry for the crappy eyebrow, but it wasn't really about that. I will do a hair tutorial and stuff, but it's more about how to do the eye, the white to the eyes. It wasn't even really about the eyelashes or anything, it was just, I just wanted to show you how to do that. The skin tones, I'll do later on because I want to do some other things with watercolour next, but I will get a piece of white pastel mat and do some proper skin tones, show you how I do them and stuff. But all that I did there, I did basically on this, it was just a different reference photo. I do actually prefer this one to this one, but it's amazing how much better your work is when you're not actually doing a tutorial, because you don't have to think. It's a lot of you just put your music on and just go for it. You can just tell this is more realistic in here. But then again, the lighting was different on this picture, so you even put all the nose in and stuff. But as you can see, I tried putting skin tones on this, and it's too dark. It just doesn't help you. You're best off with white. I mean, if it was white, I probably would have done a skin tone tutorial on this straight after, but I'll buy some white and I need to get some anyway. I know everything's falling apart. God's sake. Okay, pastel mat. Embarrass me on camera. Look at my fingers. Right. Well, thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I hope you like what I've drawn. I hope it helps you to draw one if that's why you're here. Please like, subscribe and comment, and thank you very much for watching.